All right, so we're gonna carry on from where we left off last time in the lab. So you can just start off with whatever you had, whatever you submitted last semester, or you can download it. I'll have a link to the right, and that was what I made in the last semester or the last class. So you can just grab that, paste it in there. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and grab the code from here. So I'm just gonna take this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open with, and we'll just open it with Visual Studio Code. And I'm just going to grab the whole thing, Control A, Control C, and then I'll just go in here, Control V, and there we go. And now we have the code. We didn't really do any CSS, and we didn't really do much JavaScript. I think there's a style sheet there, but everything should be contained there. Yeah, so you can see there's our elements. Okay, great. So that's all in there. So what I wanted to do was change things up a little bit. So if you remember, I'm going to expand this. We did hook up the bootstrap, but we start off with this container. So there's actually two flavors of containers. It's actually more than that, but there's two primary ones. There's container and container fluid. And the difference is that when you have container, it will leave a gap on either side. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of a, like this one's a full 12, but see how there's still a margin here on the sides of it? It will have that, right? And as you scale it, it will actually make it, it'll like snap and stuff. There's also fluid, and fluid is actually, they used to call it liquid. And basically, it'll make it go all the way to the edge. And I actually want to use that on this top section, because oftentimes you'll see the nav bar go all the way across. And I just want to show you that you can use multiple ones. And then we'll leave the bottom part as the other container. So that's pretty easy to do. One thing I'm going to just suggest to you real quick, just because, is this. I can go here, and we can just go to get bootstrap.com. Right, and then in here, if you just click on Get Started, put this over this way, and then you can see there's a bunch of different options and things here. So, so you can see here's containers, and it will show you there's different kinds, right? So container and container fluid are the main ones, but there are some other options here. And if you really want to get into this, you can find all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to hang on to this, and we'll come back to this in a second. So I already know that the class is container fluid, so that's what I'm going to put up here. So at the very top, where I have div class container, I'm literally just going to go in here and make a div class container fluid. Okay, and you're going to see it now. It's going to make all of it stretch to the edge. You can't see underneath because it doesn't scroll down, but it goes all the way to the edge now. Okay, so everything goes to the very edge. I only want to do it though on the top section here. So where we have this, the closing tag for this is all the way down here. All I'm going to do now is actually have this one end earlier. So after we do the container fluid, you'll see we have the nav bar. Oops, okay, that went a little bit farther. We have the nav bar here. Then I have the carousel right here. And then the carousel ends here, and then this was the row. And then right here is the next row for those 4 pictures. So right after this one, I'm just going to go ahead and close it. Okay. So just go like div. That will close that. And I'm just going to go ahead and make it go over so I can tell. And then for the next one, we're going to go ahead and do a div class. And we'll just call this one a container. Like so. And then we don't need this because I already have the closing down there. So now this will be treated as a container, and the upper part, this stuff, will be treated as a fluid. And so we're not going to really be able to tell in here because of the way that it's formatted. But if you look, if I zoom out enough, you control minus and X, you can see how these are not going to the edge, but that the nav bar is. This isn't going to the edge because we have it set to a certain scale, but you'll see we have it go 100% when it gets to a certain size. See how now it's going to 100%? Because we have that offset, so there's supposed to be a gap on either side, but when this gets 100% and this goes to 12, you can see it doesn't. But notice that these, no matter how small they get, they don't, okay? So that's the big difference. So the bottom here will be treated as a regular container that has margins on the sides. and then the I'm gonna make this bigger again. And then the nav bar and the carousel are going to be part of the container fluid, which is 100%, and it will squash and stretch to the full width of the aspect there, okay, of the screen. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do was, and here, we have just these pictures that just say, that are just the cones, right? I want to go ahead and take these and instead make these as cards. Okay, so again, if I go to my bootstrap here, you can see we have these components, and there's a bunch of them. There's like an accordion, and they even give you examples. So if you click on it, you can see I can click on this one, or this one, or this one, and then it actually shows you the code, and you can just copy it, just like we did everything else. I'm just going to go to card, and you're going to see it has different formatting here for the different cards. And you scroll all the way down, you can see them. I'm just going to grab the first one just because it has all the business in it. I'm just going to click copy. Going to go in here. And then inside of this one, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control V. And let's go ahead and tab this in. Tab, tab, tab. There we go. So now we have a card in there instead. And then literally what I'm going to do is just change, and I'm going to remove these guys. Okay. And I'm going to put them in with the other information. Okay, so let's just go ahead and put all the cards in first. So I'm just going to go to each one of these, and I'll just take this, delete it, hit Control V again, and then I'm just going to go ahead and tab this in. Tab, tab, tab. This is got to go back like so. Make sure that matches. Try to match it up. Okay, and then we'll get rid of this too. Oops, come on. Delete. Control V. There's the next card. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, not that one. Let's tab that in. And we will tab, tab. And then we'll take this one, do the same thing, Control V, and that will be the next bit there. Tab, tab, tab. Okay, good. So now we have those in there. So now we have the cards in there. And now we need to replace what the images are. If you look to the right, I will have links. So obviously in the previous slide, or I think it was the one before this. Yeah, the previous slide just before this one, we would have made those pictures. But you're not able to attach local images, right, when we do this because this is on a server. So you're going to have to use the links that I made before and just use those and copy and paste those in here. So you literally could just go and copy the pictures and put them in here. So to get the images over here, I'm just going to go, again, if you look at the slideshow, I got it kind of squished here, but here are the pictures here that we're going to need. So I'm just going to, it's very tiny, copy the, just right click, copy image location, and then in here, I would just go to the first card here, and you can see it has a spot for image source. So literally just where it says the 3 dots, I'm going to hit Control V, and where did it go? Right here, and you can see right there it went. So now the picture's there, and I'm just going to go right down the line. So right click, copy image location, back to here, and where are you at? Right here. Control V, and then right click, copy image location, go down to the next one here, and right there, Control V, and then we'll go back here and right click, copy image location, and this will be the last one of this, Control V. And then while we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy these as well. So I'll just right click, copy image location. The 3 bigger ones are for the carousel. So to find the images, just look for where the images are. So let's see, that's the nav part. Right here's the carousel. Okay, so image, class, blah, blah, blah. And you can see the source right here. They all have that same picture. So I'm just, oops, let's move this way so you can see a little bit more. So I'm just going to replace this, Control V, and that moved it down there. And let's go right click, copy image location, and then not here, there, Control V, all right, and then right click, copy image location, and then we'll just do it here as well. and Control V. All right. The last thing I want to do before the slide's over is I just want to go through, and if you remember, we did this formatting so that we could see our wireframe. We don't need this anymore. So for one, we did this so we could see the wireframe, and then we also did this image as fixed. That's not necessary anymore because we actually formatted all the pictures to be the right size, and we don't need to see the background thing anymore because we actually have content in there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just remove all of that, which is cool. And then the other thing I want to do is actually remove it from these extra classes. That actually will fix it right there, but it's just, I just don't like the extra code bits being in there. So I'm just going to go through and basically all of the wire blocks I'm going to get rid of for all my classes. Okay. And then also the row images fix on the row there, and then wire block there. And right here, and right here, and right here, and right. So you can see all the ones. Boom. Okay. And that should be good. So we'll just go ahead and make sure everything looks all hunky-dory. Looks fine. I'm just going to control minus, so I can see my, at least a little bit, but I can see there's my pictures. I'm sure the cards are underneath somewhere. But anyway, that looks fine. Okay. Good. Also, if you want to make sure that it's absolutely 100% correct, you could always just hit download. It will download the thing here as a zip file. And then I would just open that up. Go ahead and extract it. Doink. Extract. And it will hopefully pop open. And then when you double click on it, you will see it right here. And you can see there it is. So there's our nav bar, there's our carousel. You can see now it has all the pictures in it, which is good. And notice that they're all the same size because we fixed them earlier. And then all these pictures are also the same size, and they have the nice thing, so you can see they all match each other. And we have our card titles instead, and we have these there. So that looks good. We are in a good spot.